Okay.
Okay. The first paper we'll review is Evans. The points that I wrote out that he made note of were the high managerial employment turnover, the lack of comprehensive training for employees, and intangible barriers between new employees and tenured employees. And we came up with some solutions for those, and he wrote to either hire or move up additional managers and bring in third-party training, and also hire and move up managers, assistants, and facilitate interdepartmental training with an emphasis placed on experience rather than degree. So those were the basic thoughts that we had from our last meeting, and I thought that he covered everything that we had mentioned.
Awesome.
And does anybody have anything else to say about Evan's paper?
Well, I think we're supposed to let Evan have a review on it. You go through each one and then they review what you say, like agree and disagree or whatnot. So, Evan, what do you have to say about that response?
I agree with everyone else. I think we all ended up on the same page, and thank you for the good review. It's like getting a 5-star rating on Amazon reviews or something. It feels good. So.
Okay, Rose, you got 2 more.
All right, and then for Billy, you highlighted the middle management turnover and to remove the degree requirement to help solve that. You also highlighted that training was an issue and that they should do ongoing and recertification process to fix the training, as well as have the calls recorded later on for quality assurance to make sure that the training was working, and also your customer service meeting and mandatory staff meeting with customer service. I thought that that was a great idea. I don't think that we really talked about mandatory staff meetings, so I thought that was good.
Okay. Yeah, I think we touched on all the same subjects. As far as my editing, I don't know if my sentences or the formatting was perfect. There was some more insight on that from anyone that does, reads mine. I think that's what I was looking for feedback.
I think the only thing that you didn't really write specifically was to remove the degree requirement with the middle management turnover. Like you sort of skirted around the words but never really said to remove the degree. That was the only thing I noticed. And then as far as Ashley's paper goes, she wrote for the managerial turnover being an issue. You wrote for an assistant for Mr. LeBrad with no degree requirement, and also that it would provide growth opportunities. I agreed with you on that one. I actually wrote in my paper as well that Mr. LeBrad needed an assistant, and but I did write it would be an associate's degree. And then you also highlighted training as an issue, and you said that groups for cross-training or continuing education workshops would help to solve that, and I agree with those. I never thought about continuing education, so I thought that would...
I just really, I don't know, because we do that at work, so I just use that word instead of having somebody come, when we talked about having somebody come in and talk to them or train them how to do the different things. Yeah. I think all of us pretty much had the same thing, just worded it differently.
Absolutely.
I like to have everybody almost formatted all of our papers in almost the same order, even though it wasn't on purpose, which is how we had each section before talking about it. Billy, I like the way that yours was formatted too. I don't think you did anything, inappropriate. I liked it.
I do think Evans probably looked the most professional out of all of ours.
If
I
it
did.
if it makes you feel any better, I copied it straight from my work.
Oh, okay. It looked really good.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. I'll start with Anila. What's this? No, I'm sorry. Ashley's paper.
Okay.
Okay, Ashley. I wrote notes about it. Like you said, we all made the same statements about the same issues, just in a different way.
Mhm.
I think we attacked some of the issues differently.
I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry.
And in the opening, you had a good opening, but you wasn't definitive in your opening, established credibility. I think what they're looking for, if you're writing to an owner, to say, like, talk as though you know what you're doing, or
Mhm.
not that I believe or I suggest, just kind of be definitive about it. My experience tells me that this will work, such and such. I think
Whose
that
paper are you talking about? I'm sorry, I was out of the loop.
Mine.
was,
Ashley.
Okay.
Ashley. And okay, I think the only thing you need to exclude, in my view, is Mr.
Mhm.
Mr. LeBrad's performance. I felt that statement wasn't. I mean, she owns the company. She knows what. But his performance is good. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Depending that
Mhm.
they're losing business. But it's kind of irrelevant, so to speak. Like, I think she knows what's her company. It's just she's looking for some insight on how to fix those issues.
Mhm.
And other than that, we can keep the experience requirement instead of degree. We all mentioned that. Employee can grow within. We all mentioned that. And then training. Ongoing training, we all agreed on that. And combine the options that they have the same content. And then the conclusion,
Mhm.
it was kind of real brief, and we're looking for to get business in the future from her. I think the last sentence is just need to be reworded. It's a,
To
if
look
you
forward to
if
hearing
you were
from you.
saying it,
Or,
if you were saying it, it would sound, it sounds very polite and business, but as far as the last sentence, it kind of, I don't know, it just didn't sound right to me.
Mhm.
Maybe it's the last three words of it, or you need to take a word or two out of it. Other than that, other than that, I see the same points made that I made.
Mhm.
Besides the mentioning of Mr. LeBrad's performance, other than that.
Mhm.
Okay, now we got Rose Vanover.
Okay.
Okay, Rose. I think the formatting when you first started off, I think you double spaced between the information on the top, the name of the person you're addressing the letter to and the company. I think that needs to be single spaced, or
You know,
maybe or
it
maybe
was
it
my
can.
computer, the way it formatted it. I couldn't change it, so I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, mine did that too. Using Windows,
Yes.
I think you have to play with going there and change it because it does that.
Okay.
It did that to me. You gotta
Yeah,
go
I was trying to figure it out for the longest time, and I just gave up.
because it takes it as a paragraph.
It
That's
does.
yeah.
Yeah.
So go into that paragraph option
Oh, okay.
and put a zero there, and it won't
Thank you.
automatically put spaces in between it. Yeah, because I got hit on the grade for that.
Oh,
In this,
geez, I probably
in
will
this
too.
Okay, and let's see. Unwanted information as instructed by the teacher to mention. I think the the schools close by, that statement is kind of like self-explanatory. I think she knows that. The schools are far away. So that's a little.
Yeah.
And then we all I'll mention
Oh no, did he freeze up?
turnover. I would exclude that because it'll have a conflict of interest with their job. They'll be trying to do their work online while they're at work. I don't really think the owner is concerned about educating them. I think she's concerned more about making her company run like she wanted to run. So
That's true.
I mean, we know you need an education to be a good employee. That's not her focal point right now. She wants to get things back running good. So I would exclude that.
Okay.
And then more active role as the owner, I would exclude that information. But she did hire you, and I don't know if you could tie it in a different way, but it's kind of.
Yeah, I was trying to write it in like the most appropriate way possible to not like offend, but to say,
Right.
you know, either you need to take a more active role or choose this as your option because, you know, there's a huge decline. So I was trying not to be
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to do. And I
diplomatic with
I
it.
started to mention that in my letter too. You know, how would I get her to do more work when she doesn't want to do
Right.
work? But you know, owners have egos, I think.
Exactly.
I'll leave that up to her. Like, hey, hire such and such assistants. That's a good one we put in there. But if she
Mhm.
said, you know, in her mind, she may say, well, I don't want to pay another assistant. I'm going to do it myself. So she'll make
Right.
that easier without putting it in the letter. Other than that, and all the other stuff was the same. We all mentioned. And the social events, I was on the fence about that one. If that would work to solve the barriers between the tenure and the
Mhm.
new employees with the technical and the customer service differences. I think if we do those training, all of us mention the meetings or the interactive training. I think when they come together in that, they'll build a camaraderie out of that.
Yeah. Well, just part of the paper had said that they were so busy being tied up with the phones that they weren't allowed to, you know, weren't able to socialize at all. And even though they're working with each other on training each other, there's still not the socialization there besides anything other than work. So that's where I was kind of going with
Okay.
the events.
Right. Those are good ideas. It's just that only so many ideas we can place in a small letter.
Mhm.
So I guess we got to condense all of our ideas into one. That's the whole purpose of this meeting. Then the conclusion, I thought was conclusion. I gave a thumbs up on. Was very. We reached out for future business, like all of us did. So,
Well, thank you.
conclusion. I would keep that. And then I got even. I'm gonna go with your letter. And you had a almost perfect formatting. It looked very professional.
Awesome.
Okay, so I would keep that the format. And the green. I think your opening statements, I would exclude and rearrange it to kind of greet the business. Because the letter is sort of personal. If she hired you, she wants your feedback. But it's like you're talking to the owner rather than it's brought to our attention that this business is such and such. Maybe I think you want to address it to her a little more in that opening. And then we all touched on the management training program. I would keep that. Barriers between employees, I would keep that. And other than that, I just thought it was maybe a bit too long for me. It was a bit too extensive, but it was perfectly formatted. I would cut out some of the detail and get straight to the main issues and solving the main issues. In my opinion, I think I would be a better approach to an owner. Because the owner is budget conscious, and we can make 1,000 solutions, but all of them cost money. So he's looking to save money and solve the problem. And I think if we keep that in mind, we can condense it and then put our thoughts together, which are the same, just condense them and attack that issue and keep it on the budget. And that is my assessment of everyone's letter. Next.
I can go next. I will do Evans first. I like everyone else, I like the format. I think yours was probably the most professional out of all of ours. I like how you did the background information first, and then listed the 3 issues we'll talk about. I like that. I thought that you gave enough detail for each issue. I also liked the note comment that you had at the end. I like that, and how you had the contact information if they had any questions or anything. Um, I didn't really have many issues with yours. I liked everything basically: the format, details, background. Yeah, I liked yours with the details and everything. Let's see. Next, I will do Rose. Rose, yours as well. I think you put enough detail, enough for her to get the picture of what you were saying, but also not too much to where if she had questions or there was anything else you needed to talk to her about, it would give her, the opportunity to call you and have a conversation with you.
Mm-hmm.
I also liked you had a strong conclusion, in my opinion. Conclusion and introduction. I liked both of those.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, I like how both of y'all had, gave enough detail, but it wasn't too much detail. Your format, I liked your format too. The spacing, I was looking at the spacing thing too, but then I figured it had to be like the document, because I was having issues with mine too.
Yes.
Other than that, I didn't really see anything that I thought was a problem. Let's see. Who's next? Billy. I like yours as well. Your format. I think it was probably the font. I like the font of yours too. Um, Yours was really good. It got straight to I like that it got straight to the point. I probably would have wanted a little bit more detail, but I pick up that you like to, get straight to the point and tell what it is you're looking for and how you can help. But I liked how you got straight to the point. There was one in the last paragraph where it says you are a successful business lady, where it says, should that be should, or did you mean for it to be show? It said, you are a successful business lady, Miss Anila, and show no. That should, was that supposed to be should? That was the only.
Yeah, it should be should.
On mine, it shows show.
And show.
That was really the only thing that I saw, like, sentence wise. What else? And I like how you recommended the mandatory meetings. I don't think we discussed mandatory, but I like that idea. And there was one other thing. Oh, how you put the experience. Made it feel like you had enough experience to tackle the situation. I like that as well. And yeah, that was it.
Nick? All right.
Um, I'm basically just going to repeat everything else everyone just said by now. So I really won't go into too much detail since we're all kind of saying the same thing. But I would say for Rose, I think there needs to be some titles or some bolded words of some sort to try to separate some of the paragraphs from the other ones. Just some of the ideas.
Okay.
Some bold or some bullets or something to just differentiate what we're kind of talking about at each point. Ashley, yours looks good with the formatting. The second issue gets a little bit long in terms of I think it might be able to incorporate a third or maybe some bullet points within the training there. But, you know, and we've talked about some of the other formatting things, so I'm not really going to touch on that. Yeah, I mean, we all covered the same or similar content. We already know that. Billy, same thing. I think yours could use just a touch more content. It looks just a little empty, but for all we know, she's the kind of person who likes that and would like to be quick, concise, and get it through with. So really, it can't be a complaint. I typically don't put an extra space in between the bolded title and the paragraph below, but I don't even think that's. I don't know what our BCom says, but I don't think you get marked down for anything like that. So yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to reiterate what everyone else just said. We all touched on similar points. I think what we should do now is decide what exactly we need for, or what parts and pieces we want to pick from everyone's paper to put into the group paper. What we need to make sure we touch on, the format we're going to use, the introduction and conclusion. I noticed that I was the only one who put any real contact information on there. Should we continue to do that, or was that too much?
No, I think that was fine.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
I think everyone likes your formatting.
Yeah, we use your format.
Use your paper as a template.
Yeah.
And just kind of cut and paste our ideas into that. Maybe condense it some.
Okay. Sure.
So I say we use Evan's format, and then we pick out the things that we definitely want in the paper. So we definitely want to lower no degree requirements or lower degree requirements. Which way are we going with that?
We all agree removing it and then having it with experience.
Okay.
I think we should go with that the mandatory meeting part in the paper.
Okay. What are some other ones that we definitely want in there?
Recording the phone calls. You guys notice if you ever get a service call from business, they tell you this phone will be recorded and such and such. That's kind of a universal thing that brings accountability to the employees. So it's something that won't cost extra money either because they already have the software in place.
Right.
It's just a matter of getting it tweaked to do that.
Yeah. I liked Ashley's idea about the continuing education workshop. Do we want to throw that in?
And that would be related to training, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. The only dilemma with that is you have to. Who's going to be working while they go to this workshop?
Well, it says the employees.
They can do teams.
Sorry. I was going to say, in our paper, it says that most of the employees are all part-time, so they should be fine with being able to still do workshops.
Okay.
Okay, so ongoing training program with workshops.
Okay.
I think she listed a couple things that will include like communication, customer service, and
Mhm.
technology. So that sentence was a good sentence. It put everything in one.
Okay.
Got that even?
Yeah. Which sentence was that?
The one there where she listed all the training things to do.
It's
Communication, technology.
up under the second option,
Yep.
under the training.
Yeah, that kind of condensed some training right there. And
Okay. The
then
sec that whole paragraph.
uh,
Mhm.
pretty much that main idea right there. Just
That first
how the ongoing thing I think is the main point, and then it attacks all the areas of the business.
Mhm.
And
So
then
go ahead, Rose.
I was gonna say, do we all agree about the assistant from Mr. LeBrad too?
I agree with that.
Okay.
I'm uh I'm kind of on the fence about that one. She never mentioned the letter. Never mentioned any problems about general managers.
Well, no, it just said that his production, whatever rate it was that they gave, went from 10% to 2% because he's overwhelmed with how much he has on his plate now that she's not there as much.
Oh, okay. And
At
that
least
would
that's the way we interpreted it. At least we were
Yeah.
trying to figure out
Yeah.
why. You know, if the company grows at 10% per year, and you continually have one manager or one general manager, at some point there's a breaking point between how much he can actually handle.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right.
I think the manager was just to help him. I mean, the assistant was just to help get some of the load off of him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we agreed on that, and that goes under training, right? I mean, management turnover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how? What were the other solutions that anyone wants to pull out?
Mm,
I think he mentioned the same one that we all had. The same was hiring from within, like giving them
oh
a
yeah. Yep.
experience, using experience as a requirement rather than a degree. So we got that one. And
Yes.
we got hiring assistant general managers. Hiring LeBron assistant rather.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now we need to decide um, how we're going to do this. I'm willing to type up like the first draft of it and send it to you guys. And then we just have to pick who would do the second draft, who would do the third, and then, who's going to finalize it, I guess.
I'll read over it after you do your draft, Rose.
Okay.
And then if I make any changes, then I'll send that out to everyone.
Okay.
Well, I think we're gonna use Evan's template, so
Yes.
when he cuts and pastes,
I'll do it as Evan's template.
yeah, when he cuts and pastes, he can send it to you, and you just edit. I think that's all we need to do is do a draft and have an editor.
Yeah.
You're an English student.
Simpler.
Am I?
Any one of you guys.
Oh, no.
What you saying?
Just say
Who has good editing skills?
Oh.
I can do it as long as I was gonna say I'll do the draft or whatever as long as tomorrow is really my open day. After that, I'm working pretty much the whole weekend, so I don't want to put everybody else behind.
Are you guys looking at the document right now, or is it just me?
No,
I
I'm looking.
didn't hit accept.
What was that?
I didn't hit the accept button. I don't know how to find it now.
Oh, now you're screwed.
I
Oh.
know. I can pull it up through Blackboard.
Okay. So basically, did anyone hit accept?
I don't even see it.
No. I think I can.
But I'm looking at everybody's individual paper.
You can send it post it on our group Blackboard page.
It is
Okay.
there, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I was just checking. I was trying something out. You can actually, if you accept this thing, we can actually all edit it during this
Oh, during
time
this
period
session.
at the same time, so we don't have different drafts going around.
Oh, okay.
We don't
Oh,
have to do it now. We have other things to do. I just was curious to see if it would work or not.
That's awesome, though. Okay.
All right.
Who's gonna edit the final document?
I mean, I can do that. I don't think I volunteered for anything yet.
Okay, and so you've been taking our ideas and pasting them into yours
I haven't yet,
paper.
but I can. I can take at least like the general ideas that we were talking about and kind of mash them in there if you want.
Okay,
We
okay.
can all kind of sort through them. Or I mean, do you guys want to like add the parts of your paper that we talked about? Or
that's fine. Either
like
one.
like if I'm Rose and I would take that part of my paper that I talked about and then copy and paste it into
Into your format.
my
Mhm.
format. And then Billy, you'll do the same, and then Ashley, you do the same, and then
Mhm.
I'll kind of make it look pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
All right, how about let's try that at least, because as I was messing around with everything else, I didn't get a chance to copy and paste everything.
Okay, so for mine, we're taking the second we're taking the holding a mandatory continuing education workshop that focuses on, and I list all the stuff. That sentence, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
From mine, we were going to do the part about Mr. LeBrad, the assistant, but I'm going to have to look at that whole little paragraph there because I know there's a part that I put in that Billy was talking about telling her that she needs to step in or there needs to be an assistant. So we want to take the part out about that she needs to step in, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and then just make it about him needing an assistant.
Okay, and I think all of our paper had removing the degree requirements for management.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's in yours too, Evan. So we can leave that the same. And for mine, we're gonna bring in the recording of phone calls.
Mhm.
And that will go under training accountability. So from the looks of it, your paper, Evan, meets the standard for everyone. Just add those few little pieces that we mentioned. And
Mhm.
your introduction, maybe take Rose's introduction or Ashley's or mine's and tie it into yours to make it more of a. They come across as being very polite and it's kind of like a salesperson context to it. We're trying to earn her business, so
Sure.
take one of those, and I think we're good from there. And once you just pop that in and then send it to everybody email wise, that was the instructions on the assignment. So once you email us that, and then we have to sign off on it. Is that what I was told? I read. I don't know how we're gonna sign off,
I would imagine we'll just have to all read it and agree.
and email it back okay or confirm that everything's good.
Mhm.
Okay.
Or even we could do the little text message just saying that we read it and said it was okay or whatever.
Right. We all have to submit this though to our week 7 folder.
We do, yeah. It needs to be emailed to each one of us so we can all submit it.
Yeah, so just send it as an attachment, and you do a PDF. It'll keep the formatting when they email it to us, even.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we also have to do a cover page
With
that
everyone.
lists each participating team member's name. And
That's it.
It's
Well,
one cover page.
this
Yeah.
part says if a team member doesn't post an individual draft. Is that the part that we just did last week? Is that
That's what we just did last week.
Yeah, we
Okay.
already did that part. If you didn't post yours on Blackboard.
okay? I was just making sure she didn't mean a draft after this meeting. Okay.
So we composed our draft, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so we all did our drafts already. So we just have to remember to do a cover page with each one of our names on it. And then the actual document.
Okay. And it has to be one document, actually. So,
Mm-hmm.
Even you know how to do a cover page?
Yeah, I can do a cover page as long as so it just has to have all our names on it. And
Yeah, that's all it says here. Put a cover page on the document that lists each participating team member's name.
oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
And then we have that one to go from, you know. The sooner we get that email to everyone, the sooner we can all proofread it and agree on it, sign off on it.
Okay. So am I the one that's kind of like compiling all this together? Then I send it to you guys, and then Evan finalizes it?
I think Evan's going to send you a draft, and you're going to edit it, read over it, and check the spelling and the punctuation and, you know, things like that. Because we have to assign an editor, a person that does the draft. Actually, Evan's doing the draft right now as we're doing the meeting.
I thought we were adding.
We putting in our piece in Evan's paper and sending it to him, or what do we want?
That's the part that I'm lost in.
Well, the assignment says do the draft while we're having a meeting. Wink. So that's part of the assignment. And then,
well then, yeah, of course.
And then after that, we assign a person that edits the assignment.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying. I could be final editor and.
Okay, you be final editor. I'll do merging everything together, and then I'll send it to you guys all for approval.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Okay.
And anything that you dislike about what I write, tell Evan. So that way when he does the final editing, it all goes to him for the last part.
Okay, so you have Evan's paper in front of you on a computer, and that's what you're doing now?
Yes, that is exactly it.
Rose, do you know how to turn on the track changes?
Never. What is track changes?
All right, that's okay. I was just thinking, like, because basically, you might have to be final editor. No, that makes it too complicated. Just go ahead and do it the way you were doing it.
Okay.
I just try to make things too complicated.
Don't confuse me. It's too easy this late at night.
Well, okay, so before we leave, I did want to try to see if this thing works. Just
yeah, go ahead and pop it back up.
Just for my brain, because then for future Hangouts and things, it might be able to work for us.
Yeah. I saw it pop up. I just didn't click on it for some reason.
Yeah, we weren't talking about it. I was just fooling around.
And honestly, I figured it would stay up for a while too, and it didn't.
What am I looking for, even?
It's basically I pulled my document into this Hangout, and we should all be able to view it and edit it at the same time.
Oh.
But it's being funny right now. It's not letting me reissue that draft, but that's okay. I just want to see if it works or not. So all right, well we can go off and do our own thing, and I'll be waiting for emails back from everyone.
Okay, I for sure will send mine out tomorrow because it's the only day I have to do stuff. So I'll work on ours first thing in the morning, and my goal will be to send it out to everyone by 2 p.m.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you're just gonna email it tomorrow?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And everything, you took the ideas that we just discussed and put them into the paper just now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now that we have that established, and this meeting is over.
Adjourned. Woohoo!
Okay, and I'll be looking forward to those emails and finishing this up. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good
See ya.
night.
Good night.